schedules with Lightcloud Blue is a quick and easy way to set automations for your lighting. To create a schedule, select the Schedules tab in the bottom right corner. As you create schedules, they will appear on this tab. Select Create Schedule, input a name, and press Create. Choose between 3 types of schedules to determine settings for the behavior of the lights when the schedule is enabled. A manual schedule will allow you to specify settings for behaviors such as on/off, dim level, color on individual lights or areas. A scene schedule makes it easy to associate an existing scene or create a new one with preset settings for specific lights or areas. A Smart Shift schedule is the ultimate level of automation. Smart Shift will automatically adjust the dim level and color temperature throughout the day based on the selected preset schedule. Choose a circadian, aesthetic, or create your own lighting profile that meets your needs. Now we are going to create a manual schedule. Scroll down to Areas and Lights section and press the plus sign. You're going to select all the areas that you want to assign to this schedule. Notice my area labeled House. I have one device that is not selected and it's grayed out. That is because this device happens to be offline. It could be that my phone is too far away from this device for it to connect. Or maybe the device itself has lost power. If a device is offline, it is not receiving and it is not going to trigger the commands that this schedule creates. In this particular case, I'm okay with this device being offline, so I'm going to continue with my schedule. I'm going to press Done in the bottom right once I've selected all of my areas. Now you can see all your areas listed. Now you can go to the Settings section, and you're going to decide whether you want the lights to turn on or off. If the circle is green, the lights will turn on when the schedule is triggered. If the circle is gray, the lights will turn off. Notice that when that circle is gray, the dim level and the color temperature fields are also grayed out. In this case, I want all of my lights to turn on with this schedule. Next, I'm going to set that dim level value. You can set it using this slider bar, or if you click the actual percentage value, you can open up another screen to be able to type in the exact percentage that you want it at. Same thing with the color temperature. You can use that slider bar to adjust it, or you can click the CCT value. You can then adjust it at this slider bar, you can type it in here, or you can also access that RGB color wheel to be able to select RGB colors. You will only be able to access this RGB color wheel if you have RGB color tuning lights. Same thing with CCT. You will only be able to adjust and set a color temperature value if your product has a tunable white feature within it. If you do not have color tunable products, you will not see this second color temperature slider bar, or it won't allow you to be able to select any kind of colors for those particular areas. Now that we've set our settings for our devices and the areas that we want them in, we're going to set the time. To select time options, press on the current time set. In here, you can set the time to the exact time that you want it to go at. You can also set a schedule based on the sunrise and sunset. In this case, I want these lights to turn on 1 hour after sunset. Press Done, and I want this to happen on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to click Save. Saving the schedule will remove the device without RGB mode. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. If your device doesn't have RGB color tuning options, that particular device will not trigger that RGB command. So in this case, that one device that's not RGB in these areas will be removed from this schedule. I can save it and still set those settings for all of my other lights that are in that schedule. Now my schedule is saved. I have my schedule listed in the Schedules tab. The green toggle button just means that it is enabled. If I selected that toggle button, it will gray out, and that's how I know the schedule is now disabled. I want to keep this schedule enabled. You can also see a preview of the details of the schedule here. If you wanted to look at those settings or edit those settings, you can click the writing icon in the top right, and it opens up that configuration screen for you again. If you wanted to delete your schedule, you can click the gear icon in the top right. And here you can delete the schedule, or you can also rename that schedule. Now we're going to create another schedule and associate it with an existing scene that we previously created. In this case, we're going to call it All Off. Press Create. Now from the Type section at the top, we'll select Scene. Now you have the option to either select an existing scene or create one. We're going to select an existing scene. Select our scene, click Done in the bottom right. Now our scene name populates to All Off. Down at the bottom, we are going to schedule a time for these lights to turn off, and we're also going to specify those days as well. We're going to click Save. Now we have our All Off schedule, where that scene is going to trigger at 10:30 p.m. on the lights linked to the scene. To learn about Smart Shift schedules, watch the Enable Smart Shift video.